Welcome back to the Vendors Table, ladies and gentlemen. I am MC Midday. Today we are joined by Nastassja of Miss Sugar Plum and also her sister Tafara, who's a future bride.
Thank you.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, good.
We're good, thank you.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we're going to start with a game, obviously,
Okay.
as always. The game is called Guess the Wedding Item.
Item?
Yes.
Is that okay?
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
it could
wasn't
be,
expecting that.
you expecting the quiz, right?
Yeah.
We love to throw people off.
As a vendor, I'm not used to like being thrown in the midst of a game.
I knew
usually,
the game was coming.
yeah,
but I didn't know item.
I'm
Okay,
usually
come
a
on.
spectator.
It's fine.
Indeed,
Okay.
we're flipping the tables today. All right, cool. So you're against each other,
Okay.
of course. So this is how it's going to go. Each answer is worth 5 points.
Okay.
I'll give you a clue and you have to guess what item I'm talking about. You'll have one guess per clue. For every additional clue I give you is one less point.
Okay.
Make sense?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So remember, one guess per clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
First clue for the first item is both bride and groom will have this.
Ring.
Wrong.
Flowers.
Flowers.
Oh my god, that's such a that is-
Yeah, I'm glad you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just such a wild answer. Like, I felt like so I felt under pressure.
got it wrong.
I've got it wrong
You
anyway.
definitely got it wrong. So second clue is now worth 4 points. I take place during the wedding ceremony.
You take place.
Mm.
And it's an item.
It could be a thing. It could be.
Vowels.
No! Did she
I
get
said
it
it
right?
first.
Got it.
Not fair.
Got it.
Because you said item, innit? And so...
It could be a thing. I mean,
now you're changing it.
no, that's
I've
was it.
redeemed myself from my first
You have.
answer.
You have.
Okay, fine.
You both got it correct, but Natasha got it first. So
Okay, fine. You can have that
Miss
one.
Sugar Plum is one up.
Go on.
All right, second question now. First clue is I'm visible at the ceremony, but usually not there by the time we get to the reception.
But you're not there.
Usually not there.
Where are you?
Car.
No.
No.
Wrong.
Visible at the ceremony.
Yeah.
But not there at the reception.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough clue, to be fair, but we have to start hard.
Who am I?
The next clue should make it a lot
Yeah, go
Okay,
on.
go
What's
on.
the next one
Are you
then?
passing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next clue, question now worth 4 points. I am an item of clothing.
Veil.
Correct.
I was about to say that, and I was just like, it
what a
can't be.
shout.
You know what? I was just about to say it can't be the veil, and I was just like, and it's not at the reception. But I'm like, I've seen veils at the reception.
Yeah.
But
Some people
That's why I
go
said not
wrong.
usually.
Yeah,
Usually
okay,
not at the
fine.
reception.
all right, okay, cool.
That's
Good
it.
shout though.
Thank you.
4-4 now. Okay, this is the last one. So
Okay.
whoever gets this wins, basically.
Okay.
First clue is I am an accessory for the bride.
An accessory for the bride.
Why
Why am I even conferring?
I'm
enemy.
looking at you. I'm actually thinking like an accessory for the bride.
Mm.
Nah. Well, I'm thinking a garter, but I don't know why.
I was gonna
guess
say
I'm
that.
wrong. Yeah.
You're gonna say go.
Yeah.
Who's gonna say it?
I am, because I said it first.
Okay, well it's wrong. So.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
What are you going for? You passing or you're gonna?
I'm gonna pass. We can
Okay.
we can knock a point off.
No,
Okay,
that
cool.
means- okay,
We're down
cool.
to 4 now. I usually fit in with the color theme of the day.
Flowers.
I'll take it.
Are
It was
you?
weaker, yeah, but I'll take
Yeah.
flowers. I'll take
Okay.
flowers. I'll
Oh,
take flowers.
Does that
okay.
mean I
Yeah.
win?
That means you win.
Yay. Sorry.
It's all right. It's fine.
8 points.
It's
You
fine.
got 4. Don't worry, you did well. You redeemed yourself from the first.
No, the first
Yeah.
answer was so wild. I was just like flowers. Like how did I get there?
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
two guesses too early.
Yeah.
You could have got that
There
last
we go.
one. We got a winner.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So in fact, let me let you introduce yourself properly. What do you do and why weddings?
So hi, my name's Nastassja. Everybody probably will know me as Miss Sugar Plum. So I am a cake artist. Well, I like to say I'm a cake architect. My cakes are one of a kind. They speak for themselves. They stand alone. I create cakes basically, and I really create cakes for the mood, for your mood, for your celebration in line with the theme. So that's what I do.
Nice.
I'm a master cake maker.
Yes, you are. Not your average.
Not your average.
That's why people come to you.
For real.
So my cakes really speak for themselves. They stand alone. They are more art pieces. Yes, cake is my medium that I use, but they are more art pieces that people choose to have, and they're a spectacle, as you've experienced. And it is, I do feel like my cakes are an experience.
Yeah,
like they are one that people walk in the room and go, oh my God, what is it? And that's what I love. Yeah. So that's
For
what
real.
I do.
How did you get to that point?
Okay, I'm gonna.
Did you start off as just normal cakes, or?
Okay, we're gonna cut that story so short.
Okay, let's have the short version.
But basically, my background is fashion, art, and design.
Okay.
So I started off working in the fashion industry. Can't say really didn't like it. Really wasn't going where I wanted to go, and I found cake as just that thing that I do to calm my nerves, relieve all of my feelings, and I really enjoyed it. I worked at Diesel, so I used to bring in cakes there. Okay. And that's basically how it started. I would bring in a cake every Monday. People liked it. Then they started asking me to do events. And then I said to my sister, hey, I really want to do cakes. And she was just like, okay. She was doing marketing for me, and that's how it kind of just grew. And how I got them to where they are now in terms of just having my own style, as they do stand out. Like, I've never wanted to follow what's out there and didn't enter the cake industry to be like anyone else. I design the cakes in how I love, and which is hand painting, watercolor. I love architecture. I like texture. So you see all of that in my cakes. And that's just truly because when I was in art school, the foundation of becoming your own artist was do what you like and do what you love, because that is what people will gravitate to. And that's the role of my company. I do what I love, first and foremost, because that's what brings me joy. And people gravitate to it because they see that. And no cake is like anybody else's, or it doesn't look like the last cake. But they all have, there is like a string and theme that you can tell this is the same person who's done it. And that
proud sister, like,
Because I was on Instagram and like just some random couple, and I saw a clip of the cake, and I was like, screenshot it. I was like, oh wait, hold on, sis, is that your cake? She's like, of course it's my cake. I thought so.
And so people can really tell my cakes. Like, I'll be honest, right? And she, like Tafara can tell you, I've never actually sat down and had a marketing plan, because not a marketing plan, really marketed my cakes, and really said, oh my God, like, we're going to put it in some beautiful, like, tissue paper, or have like all of these external factors, because the cake sells itself. Because people see the cake and they instantly know, hey, that's a like she said, she was watching your podcast and she was like, I know that style somewhere, right? And so when you have that as your signature, right, that speaks volumes, because your style is never ending. And I know I've made a stamp in time. I know I'm making my own stamp in history, that people will look at my cake and know I know the artist. And that was always like, that was always what I wanted to do. Like, when I started making cakes, I wanted people to know my cakes before they actually knew me. And I think I do that probably very, very well.
Agreed. I definitely knew the cake before I knew you as well. That work of art. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. And Tafara, you are is it recently engaged?
Kind of recent.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like July.
So July last year.
2022.
So you're planning the wedding?
Still
early
like
stages.
Do you know what? I'd say it's early. It is early, and because I started last year, just scoping, kind of what's out there. Yeah. And I'd contact vendors and they'll be like, yeah, we're not ready to talk about 2024 yet.
Okay, fine. It's 2024 you're getting married.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
cool.
And then others will send me their price list and they'll send me 2022, 2023 and 2024. Obviously, I'm looking to get married in 2024 and the price will go up like by at least $2,000 every year. So I'm just like, hold on, what are we doing here? So we're in 2022 and it's like, I don't know, venue. I want to say like everything, full package, like 36. And then by 2024, it's like 40 or 41. And I'm like, okay. Do we get married earlier? But yeah, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. I just want to enjoy the engagement period.
I hear you.
And like doing light planning, scoping out kind of what vendors are out there. So I've got my list of people, fine. Reached out to a few.
Nice. Have you worked out? So have you got a date?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think so.
Was your date? Did you have like, I want to get married on this date or this month or?
Look, I've been asking. I'm excited to hear this because I've been asking because I got brides asking me about 2024, and I'm just like, I'm so
how do you get it?
No, I'm just waiting for her to say her date because now she can with her date.
Fine.
No, I'm so chilled. Like we're just so chilled as a couple, and people are asking, "Oh, so what's going on? What's going on?" We're just like, "Oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening." So yeah, people are looking at me like, "So when? But when though? Like you, like, so I want to see your cake, obviously."
Yeah.
So June.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. We're there now.
Okay, 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it might be the 22nd.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's nice.
22nd of June.
Like day.
That's my birthday.
Like, oh, is it?
Yeah. Very special day.
Yeah. That's nice. Thank you. You know what? I'm so relieved now because I can tell some couples that have been waiting. Like I'm not available all of June now. Can get my diary in order.
Yeah.
You've been holding everybody up.
You know what? I'm so excited. Like you don't understand because I've been asking like when are you getting married, and she's just like like I'm just like, girl, she don't understand. Like I'm like
it's funny because I feel like I'm keeping quite a lot of it like quite close to my chest. Like no one knows where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because initially like it was gonna be abroad. I really wanted to do a destination wedding because we travel quite a lot.
Okay.
And like when I'm telling people that it's gonna be in the UK, they're like, oh wow, really? I really imagined you like.
Why did you switch?
So I reached out. I want Portugal.
Yeah.
Wanted to do it in Portugal. Contacted, like, looked at venues, contacted some planners. Obviously, some of them it's like, it's too far away. Come back to me, like, beginning of 2023. I was like, whatever. And then there was one woman that I found. She was black as well.
Yeah.
The only black wedding planner that I found, really, in Portugal. But she was just taking too long to get back to me, like, everything. And I was like, do you know what? You're obviously not in it.
It's not a good sign. Yeah.
And then I was just like, you're also just far away. Like, as much as I'd love to, like, go to Portugal, look at venues and whatever and work with you, it just seemed like too much hassle. And we've got quite a lot of contacts in the UK, and I don't have money to fly people out, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like you were talking about cake, like you'd have to go out like a week earlier maybe to
yeah, with destination wedding.
His sister does flowers, and so like she's here, and so it just made sense. DJ here as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay for their flights.
I don't. Because you got to pay for the vendors.
Yeah. I've got money for that. I don't even know where the money's coming for this wedding.
You know what? Sometimes it can even double the cost. Almost.
Yeah, like definitely. Yeah. Destination weddings. Yeah.
I thought it would be cheaper. But then in hindsight, when I'm getting prices, when I told her what the budget was, she was like, yeah, I think I can work with that. I'm just like, I thought it was supposed to be cheaper out there.
I think the only reason why there's the perception that it's cheaper is that obviously you're ultimately going to have less guests.
Yeah.
And there's a cost per head. But still, that's like sort of balanced out by the increased cost of everything else.
I think it's just the weather aspect as well.
That is the nice part.
I say guaranteed. You never know. You might do it in Portugal. It's like torrential rain.
It's true.
Yeah, that's
true. Regardless of not like where we do it, numbers are still
high.
No, not.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I haven't seen the new list, but the last time we discussed about numbers, well, I was saying to you, like, make it intimate. And then
what is intimate though? What numbers are we looking at?
Right, so I've watched your podcast, innit?
What
people say intimate's like 150, 200.
Oh no, I was intimate for me.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
150 people are intimate.
I think 100 and less is intimate.
For me, that's even actually quite a lot. 100 isn't intimate.
my intimate is like 50 to 70.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, but everybody's wedding is different.
This is true.
But I mean, I've done ultra intimate 50 people weddings, and obviously I've done weddings for like 200 people plus. But yeah,
where are those people coming from?
You know, when I see these like 600 people, I'm like, I don't even know 600 people.
600?
600? Where?
What? There's people doing 800 people weddings. There was one of the we had a DJ on here. He had I think he had 600 at his trad, and then I think
was that back home? Was that back home?
This is very
okay. I don't know how. Like, I don't even know 600 people. I'm like, do I even know 100 people at this point?
But there's a percentage of that. It's just because it's the trad, percentage that's family, and parents extended and all that sort of stuff. So
no.
But I think I don't think I wouldn't want a wedding that big. Anyway.
Ours is like 100 max.
Okay.
And then the thing is, like, we don't want to invite people to like the after bit.
Oh, as in have like evening guests?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like someone actually called it the plate liquor invite.
Oh my god!
I mean, as wild as it is, it's quite aptly named.
Yeah, you know, the plate liquor invite.
So I don't want to like.
You don't want anybody to be a plate liquor?
Nah, there's no need. And also, we don't want to do it in London. So like
is it London?
Pardon?
Not in London. You're like, okay.
Nah.
Yeah, it's like countryside.
Fine. So it's still a bit of an escape.
Yeah, getaway.
Destination.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Staycation wedding.
Staycation wedding, countryside. But I think that's that's the new trend for a lot of like couples. Like they get married on stately homes, so it becomes more of like a weekend event. Rather than it being like just one day. Yeah, you know. So
I feel like that makes it a bit more of an experience, more of a vibe. People feel a bit more free, and
I think it eases the pressure on the whole day, because like even in my head, like I wouldn't want a wedding that everything happens on the same day, and people ask me all the time, just like it's a lot. Maybe because I do like I'm a vendor at a wedding, and I see the layers and everybody, every wheel kind of like turning and churning to get this one day. And when you have like a weekend wedding, like I was saying, it breaks it up a little bit, and you get a bit more time to breathe and really just like
goes so quickly.
Because you ask all the brides, like even brides that I've worked with who've been clients before, done their weddings, still clients today, and they're always like, they say the same thing. I was like, it went so fast. Like, some of them like, I didn't even get to eat the cake, and I'm like, I'll make sure my cake, I'm going to eat it. But you know, they always say how the day goes just like so fast, and I think the weekend, the weekend
taken
wedding,
away from London, people like stay in a hotel, whatever, or stay on site, and then you do something the next day. Like that's what we're planning. Yeah,
that is a nice vibe. I reckon that gives it the little destination vibe. I wanted to ask you about cake vendors.
Okay.
Do you feel like you guys are given enough credit for your work?
This is actually a good question, because I think I've seen this question floating around via like on social media, and I think what it is it's a catch-22, right? Yes and no. So the yes part would be because people are starting to see what cake artists can do, and I think we have now leveled up. Like, their cake bakers like myself offer something new to the market, so cake has now become a thing, and that's what I always hoped, you know, I could do with my company, that people care more about the cake, and you start to see people start to care about like what their cake looks like. That people just don't want to go for the traditional kind of just like a white cake with like a rose, because that was always what my issue. I'd go to weddings and the cake would just look sad in the corner, and of course like nobody cares about it. It's just like, it's because like it's another part to the wedding that you must have. It's just, we got the dress, we got the cake, tick, we got the food. You know, it just becomes another kind of aspect to the wedding that people have to have. The no part would be because I think people don't know what it takes to make a cake. And everybody is always like, when you ask them about cake, the first thing they say to you is, my mum bakes cakes. It's like, okay, that's good for you. Like, you know what I mean? That's good for you. Like, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
Which good way? Which good way can that come across?
And when I say that, when I say it like that, it's because everybody can bake, right? Everybody can bake, right? But everybody feels they can make a wedding cake, or they can make a cake up until they actually start making the cake, and then they're like, I know why I pay for this, right? Because it's not as cute as it looks. Like, a lot of people, I tell them, like, they ask me, what do I do? I'm a baker. Oh, that's so nice. It's not cute. It's not cute. Like, I may look cute right now, but you see, like, 90% of the time, it's headscarf. I'm just getting the job done, right? So in the sense that people don't understand the craft, that's where people always want to kind of come in and either ask you for a discount or don't value it, because they see, especially with social media now, like, there is an influx of people baking, and especially through the pandemic, it was one thing that kept everybody going in terms of like, oh my God, let me find a new skill to pick up. And people bake differently. So the way I kind of put it to people is, me coming from a fashion background, this is a good way to look at it. You have your high street fashion, you've got your fast fashion, you've got high street fashion, then you've got your designer brands, and we'll go Primark, ASOS, Dolce & Gabbana, right? If you think of the cake industry like that, you've got the people who hobby bake, then you've got the people who bake just as a part-time hobby, and then you've got not part-time hobby, part-time part-time, and then you've got people who do it full-time, myself, right? But there are still levels to it, right? So when you look at somebody, you got your girls that just do your like drip cakes, and that's good, like, and they'll sell those for £30. And then you got the people mid-range who will be like your 60 to 100. And then you've got people like me whose starting prices to, 3 figures and 4 figures plus, right? Everybody has somewhere where they can sit, right? And it always depends on how much you're willing to spend. But you also have to be that person that looks at the work, make clear judgment, and not just think all the cakes are £100. But at the same time, our industry hasn't really made it very clear of what is the actual pricing of a cake, because people just, even within the industry, there's always this big talk about like, oh my God, people just want a cake for £50. But what you have to realize is, we don't really talk about how the product comes to be. So therefore, you are going to get people who think they can just make a cake, or they just think it's like £50. We have to open up and really just show our skill in that way. Some people won't talk about it. There's cake bakers who literally only start from 4 figures, and that's it. And then there's people who start from your £30. So there is a range for everyone. But you, as like a customer, when you go to a vendor, one of the top tips I always say is, don't straight away go like, can I get a discount? Look at the person's work, ask them, contact them, ask them where their price point, go on their website. And that's another thing, is like, when we live in a world, social media, everybody starts up their business on social media. Not a lot of people have a website. So it is, you're going to their DMs and asking for a price list. But there are bakers like me who have websites where you can drop, we have our prices on there. So like I said, it's that catch-22. Like, yes, but at the same time, no. But I think it's because people just don't understand the craft in that sense. And that's what it comes down to. Like, people understand.
We understand now.
Yeah.
Like,
just don't understand.
You can see it.
Yeah. But it is that. So it is just people understanding what it takes to make a beautiful wedding cake.
Yeah.
And
I think, I think obviously people that your customers understand. They've seen the value and they understand the price it is. I think I've heard some people say, actually, you know what? I've seen what it actually takes to put together a cake like that, like the time that goes into it. How long does it take you to make?
So, okay, because we'll use Nadia and Franklin because you know them, you were at their wedding and you've seen the cake.
Yeah.
So something like somewhere. That, like it took 2 weeks to put together. Oh. Right. And so that's what people don't understand. Like, I don't start working on, okay, let's just say the whole process of working with Nadia and Franklin, that was a whole process of like 9 months. So from them initially contacting me, from us doing the consultation, from me doing the sketch, initial sketch during the consultation, throwing the final sketch back to them, then when it comes to actually making the cake, I started 2 weeks before the actual date. That's not the baking, but there's extra stuff that goes in the cake. So it's the resourcing of the materials. Then it's like, because their cake was a triangle, I had to have special plates made. To actually for the size of them. And obviously I'm the type of person, because I'm just like, look, let's get them in 2 different sizes. So you have to plan for all of that stuff. So got the plates made. Some of the little intricate details that went on the cake, I literally started making them 2 weeks before. And then the actual cake making process was really because it was a triangle and I had to freehand cut the cake, meaning I had to bake square layers and then cut each flavor individually into the triangle shape. So I started that like 8 days before the actual wedding. So I was working, and that, you know, when you break it down like that, I was working on cake for 8 days straight, nonstop, up until delivery day. So when you break it down like that and you break down how many hours a day was I working on the cake, it's like 8 to 9, maybe sometimes, 10 hours working on one cake. And it's the design. It's not just the baking. Then it's then it's the construction of the cake, and then it's the decor of the cake, and it's all hand painted. So it's not like there's another machine there like that. I'm like, you paint that part or you paint that part.
It's just you as well.
Yeah, and it's just me.
Other bakers have assistants,
and I do have like assistants. Like when, like for that cake, I didn't really, because like I plan a lot of things go on in my head. I engineer things. I see things before I actually make them, if that makes sense. So I've already got the vision. I already know what I'm doing. So for that cake, I didn't need like an assistant because it was very easy. But if it were like a wedding cake I did earlier on in the year, which was a hanging wedding cake, I definitely, so it was like that's a standard for me. Like hanging cakes are a standard for me. Yeah.
We'll send you the picture.
Yeah, we'll send you the picture. Like,
and how do you cut that?
Yeah, exactly. When they sent me the video of how they cut that, I was like, oh, poor babies. Like, I was just like, but it was cute though. I enjoyed watching the video. But yeah, something like that. Like, so I didn't need an assistant, but when I do have my assistants, it is like technical stuff where we're hanging stuff, or there's a lot of like pieces that need to be made on stuff like that. So it is like you put it together, like working on a wedding day. And let me just put this in. The cake wasn't baked 14 days before. It was baked like at least like 7-8 days. Yeah, because it was, how many layers went in that? There was 6 at the bottom, 3 in the middle, and 2 at the top.
Damn.
So that's a lot of cake. And I saw that they're still eating the cake. So I was just like, but I know they're not mad at that. Yeah. So it was, it was a lot to make, and it weighed a lot. Like, the taxi driver actually helped me, and he was even like, I think I'm going to crack my back. How you been carrying this? And I'm just like, I know. So altogether it's like 14 days to make, like, and most wedding cakes are like 14 days if it's got like loads of added on pieces that can be made prior. Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't even know that.
And that's the thing. A lot of people think like cakes are always made like a day before, and it's not true. Yeah. Cakes are made at least like any experienced cake maker will tell you, like, cakes are usually baked either 7 days before. There's different ways, like there's different techniques. Some cake makers will bake like 3 months in advance. Wait, that's only because they freeze the cake.
Okay.
So a technique to that a lot of bakers use is they bake the cake like 3 months or a month before the actual event. As soon as you bake it, you freeze it, and it keeps the cake moist. And then like they'll bring it out, like whether it's like 3-4 days in time for them to decorate it. There are people like me who prefer just like to bake on the week, because I think for me it tastes better. But everybody has their different ways of working. So yeah, like, and I don't think people realize how many days like experienced cake makers actually spend on their cake. It's not like a day. It's not like what you see in a TikTok movie, a TikTok reel, or an Instagram reel. That's not real life. That's why I always say to people, they're like, "Oh, your job is so cute," and I'm like, "It's not. I make cute things, but it ain't cute behind the scenes." Like my sister's been there, like, and you've like been in the kitchen with me, and you give up. Like remember that night you spent with me? Oh my God,
I wasn't even supposed to be there. She was just passing.
She came to drop something out, and then she ended up, and she was just like, and she was just like, I don't know how you do it. Like she was hard work, and she was just like, I don't know how. She was like, I was just like, you might as well just sleep on my bed, and she was like, you're still going, and I'm just like, yeah, but this is the nature of the beast, isn't it? Like people don't see the late nights, the very, very early mornings. Like they don't see all of that. What they see is, a cake, and they're just like, oh, but it should be £50. It's just like, no, it's not £50. And I think as well, in terms of pricing, a lot of people get it confused in terms of like supermarket stuff. Right, because they'll go into a supermarket and they'll go, let's just say Marks and Spencer's. They'll see Marks and Spencer's as a white cake, and they're like, yeah, but in Marks, they'll say, oh, but I think in Marks and Spencer's it's like, £40, and I'm like, well, great, like great, but here's the difference: Marks and Spencer's haven't baked it from fresh. It's been baked in a factory, and it's got so many preservatives in it for it to be still on
with love as well. Well,
and if you want something that's handmade, and handmade is going to cost you money, because that's somebody not just using the ingredients. People forget it's my time. It's not just my time. There's the electricity. There's all of the other added extra equipments, the dowels, the cake boards, the wrappings, all of that stuff. All add to the price of the cake.
The experience as well. So what if you could give one bit of advice to people when they're considering buying or getting a wedding cake, what would it be?
Okay, one piece of advice would be scope out your cake makers and be realistic about your budget. Okay. I think budget is always a very, very hard one, because like most of the time people are like, I don't know how much a cake costs, right? But be realistic for what you want and the cake makers that you are looking at. Look at their work. If you don't have a budget or you are unsure, ask, and really just always ask your cake. My thing is always talk to your cake makers and ask, and be realistic, right? And if you see your cake maker says a 3-tier cake starts from £800, please do not negotiate. That's my one piece of advice. Never negotiate with a cake maker.
Okay.
There's other ways you can get like the best of your cake. For example, you may say, you may want, like, for me, customers may say, they'll come and go, oh, we've got, our budget is like, for an example, £900, right? But, you've got guests, you've got 100 guests. One of the things people don't realize is not everybody at the wedding will eat cake, right? Not everybody's going to want cake.
Yeah.
Whenever my clients come to me, I always tell them, like, knock off 10 people because kids are wasteful people. Like, you love them, they're cute, but they don't eat cake. Their parents give it to them, they scrunch it up and they go and put it in like a deep corner, and then the cleaners will find it and be like, who put Who put it there? The other people, you can knock off another 10 or 15 guests because they won't even realize that there's cake there and it's available to people. You can knock off another 20 guests because some people just don't like cake. Even if you tell them it's nice, they just don't like it. So sometimes you can get not even sometimes. I always say to people, get an artistic cake that feeds like at least like 3/4 of your guests. You don't need a massive cake to feed everyone. Yeah. And the other thing that you can do is, it's a handy tip. Some of my customers do it. They get a really small, nice 2-tier cake, and then they get Costco cake for everyone else
to feed them. Yeah,
really?
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a very good tip. It's a very good,
cost-effective way around it.
It's so cost-effective because if you want a very stylish cake, it can happen, right? It's not always that you have to feed everybody cake. If you are feeding everybody cake, make it the dessert. Meaning, to your caterers, you knock off the dessert and you just have your cake, and that you can increase your budget to have a bigger cake, and you can have maybe a bit more food. So those are ways that I literally say to my clients, like, here's a way to expand your budget and still get like a great cake. The other thing, I mean, with my clients, usually they come with a budget, right?
And you only ask for one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
the one tip. That's the one tip. So it's really, I know, like, she just wants to cut my time, but yeah, that's what I would say. That would be the tip. Like, instead of negotiating, you can always expand your budget in other ways.
Okay.
Say to your cake maker, look, like, this is how much would my top end, my minimum. How can I expand this? And hopefully they can give you options as well.
Yeah. Well, ask the questions. We don't bite. Vendors don't bite. And Tafara, you as well. So you're obviously in the apprentice stages. I know you're kind of early.
Yeah.
But what have you
about
come across? Learned that you're like,
Don't look at everything on. I mean, Pinterest is obviously a good platform to use for inspiration, but also Pinterest is also very expensive. Like everything you see on Pinterest is not within your budget. Just know that. And that's mommy and daddy have got a lot of money.
But I think it's a good mood board.
Also, Bella Niger as well.
Really?
I mean, great platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very what's the word? It's just making me quite nervous about organising the wedding because you're saying all these big flashy images, beautiful, loads of flowers, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just learned like it's all right if my wedding don't look like that. It's gonna look like what I want.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. That's a good one.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with starting early. Just know that, like, if you do, just know that prices will probably go up.
But you can also lock in an earlier price, booking a vendor earlier as well. For some.
Some suppliers just like, booking, like, if you book before this date,
you'll get 2023 price. But
they're not the ones that I'm talking to. They're like, you're getting 2024 prices. Okay. But yeah, other than that, and there's also some great platforms apart from yours.
What other ones? Give me
Hindsight Bride. I know she came on.
Oh yeah, legend. Yeah, but she's amazing.
Again, perfect timing for me. That's like looking for inspiration and stuff. Great, but then it's very unfortunate. I feel that there aren't other platforms out there. I think everything, all the images that I see are like, can I say Caucasian?
Caucasian,
yeah. I don't see me there, so it's just like hard to get like inspiration.
We're working on that.
Stuff.
There's a platform. What's this thing called? Cana Walks.
I need to
CANA Walks. They've got some good stuff.
But yeah, I even like DM'd one. I think they're actually Australian. I found out in the end. I was like, I love what you're doing. However, where are the black people on your page? I found that really hard.
Don't worry, we'll build some. We'll find some suggestions. We'll throw them.
Please do send them across.
Can I ask you one question as well?
Okay.
Do you find it hard to talk to? Like, do you find vendors difficult to talk to and to book with? Because obviously you're working in for 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think obviously they prioritize their
the
ones that are getting married earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like a backbencher. But then like
backbencher.
I know, but there's like some that want to know the venue and everything, and they'll only like when they see the venue's nice, they'll be like, yeah, I want to work there. No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like, because like there's certain, I think, photographers that want to shoot at certain venues.
Oh, okay.
And so if they find out, to be honest, I think like if they've shot like quite a lot at one venue and they're just like, that's not a nice venue, or they haven't had a good experience.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm like, oh, I'm getting married at this place. Oh, this is new. I'd love to shoot there. It looks beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Sign me
Yeah,
up.
you do get that, especially like the higher end of photography and videography.
Yeah,
you do get that kind of trade-off.
Yeah,
they're like,
so I've had some prices.
Yeah,
some people.
That's them ones are not cheap. But also, you're paying for. You get what you pay for.
It's quality,
the quality at the top end is reflected by the price. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
but the difference in quality when you come lower down, you start to see why they charge what they charge.
That's true. It's true though. It's true. But yeah. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Did I answer your question?
You did answer my question. Yeah. There's a few gems in there.
It's fine. Because I've never to be honest, obviously everyone wants to get married. Some people don't, which is fine. But I've never really grown up imagining what my wedding day is going to look like at all. So I'm riding the wave, baby.
Nice.
I'm riding the wave.
It's good. Enjoy it.
I'm chilled. Yeah, no.
Enjoy it. It looks like you are as well. So.
I mean, I barely started. But no, I feel like there'll be a point where I'll probably get a little bit stressful, but I'm a chilled person anyway. I've got an events background, so it's fine.
It's not too wild.
Nah, I've got this.
Wonderful. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram.
Give it a plug. And your website as well. You said a website.
Okay, yeah.
Plug it.
My website is, I was about to say, I forgot it.
Imagine.
www.theindulgentsugarplum.com. My Instagram is ms_sugar_plum. But you can Google me too.
She's on Google.
Google reviews.
The ladies in Google. Celebrity.
Damn.
Google me, Nastassja Lisengo. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
okay.
The full name.
Damn. I'm gonna Google it myself so I can put the correct name.
But yeah, those are my handles. But you can just find me, The Indulgent Sugar Plum, across all social media.
Wonderful. Tafara, anything you want to plug?
I don't know. People want to follow me, I'm trying to get to
she does candles. She does candles.
Okay, plug the candles.
I am going to be doing some candle making workshops soon. Yeah, hopefully.
Plug that.
Speak it into existence. But yeah, I'm at Taffy, TAFFIEX on Instagram, and then you'll find my candle page there. Hopefully.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Indeed, it's been wonderful. There's a lot of gems in there as well. So
no,
there was. I took a lot away from both as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's been another episode of Vendors Table. Join us next time. Find us on the YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we'll be back for more fun.
Woo.